Ladies and gentlemen, Mike Murphy has joined us. Welcome, Mike Murphy. Thank you for
Hey,
coming.
that's me. How's it going, man?
Welcome, Mike.
What's up?
Not too much. How you doing?
We are doing well this morning. How are you?
Still waking up, but I'm getting there.
Hey, that's all right. We are getting woke up as well.
Nice. How you
Everybody's
doing,
been just clamoring for you.
Oh, well, happy to be here. So, what's going on? What we've been talking about?
We're talking about woke trans. Oh, let me read the whole title out. It's pretty long. It's like a medieval fiefdom title.
We're playing woked bingo, so get your bingo card out and start hitting those check marks.
Okay.
So, a Jewish Asian trans deaf actor, Chella Man, will star as DC's action hero. It's a long title. How you feel about that title?
I don't know. Call me crazy, but I think none of that stuff should matter, and it should just be is he a good actor or not?
Exactly. He's also
I agree.
He's deaf, and I think he's gonna have a little problem with stage direction. You know, nothing to dog on deaf people, but it's gonna be an issue that they're gonna have to CGI out.
Exactly.
And I put on my raptor skin today for you.
Thank you.
I'm not sure if you can see.
I'm honored. No, I can. And
I had Miss Selena Hernandez draw me up a chibi icon for today's festivities. So thank you, Selena.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I know that art.
Yes, you do. Yes.
That art looks familiar.
Yeah, I don't even know when she worked on that.
She was doing it behind your back the entire time. I've been speaking with her all week behind your back also.
Intrigue.
I see how it is.
This is already better written than any of Gail's books coming out.
I wanted it to be a nice surprise for you.
J'accuse. Well, I like it, sir. Very nice.
Well, thanks, Selena, because she was the one who did the bang up job. She sent me 3 different little SketchUps, and the third one had the pipe with the bubbler, and I was like, "That's the one." Nailed it. Just nailed it.
Awesome.
So yeah, are you awake enough to talk about some samurais and dinosaurs? Or you want us to bullshit for a little longer?
No. I'm good, man. I'm good. Let's do this.
Cool. So yeah, let's give us the lowdown.
Sure. So the brief elevator pitch is Samurai and Dinosaurs is kind of a love letter to art house and grindhouse samurai movies, the stop motion monster features of old, and the overall plot focuses on a downed meteorite that a group of elite samurai are dispatched to investigate, and along their journey, time begins to fracture and break down around them, and the closer they get to their goal, they discover dinosaurs from the Jurassic period bleeding out into their timeline. And yeah, like it's kind of, a samurai road movie in the style of like Kurosawa with like I always say, like, just imagine if Kurosawa and Ray Harryhausen, who was kind of the godfather of special effects, like just imagine if they got together and made a movie.
Very cool. So where did this story idea come from?
Well, I mean, the honest genesis of it was Selena and I, like, back in the day, checked out the Cowboys and Aliens movie and really didn't care for it. And afterwards we were just, I was doing that thing of like, man, I could do that better, and we just started like throwing out titles, like dumb titles, back and forth, joking around. And I spit out Samurai and Dinosaurs, and after a few minutes, like, we just kind of stopped laughing, and I was like, well, actually, that sounds kind of cool. And like a plot kind of started coming together in my head, and I reached out to Sergio, our artist, and he really dug the concept, and we just kind of ran with it.
Awesome. Yeah. So who's your artist on this?
Yeah, the artist is Sergio Calvé. He's a good friend of ours that we've known since about um, 2001. And yeah, he's based in Spain.
Right on. That's awesome. I love his style. I love his style. It's like it's cartoony, but I feel like it really kind of fits this mood perfectly.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, like he always hates it when I say this, but like his like natural style, like what he does with most projects is kind of this European Kirby look. Like it's highly stylized and cartoony, and he also has that like forced perspective and exaggeration that Kirby did. But for this, like I really told him like, look, you got to subdue a lot of that, and we really got to find a new approach to your art. But I still think it would work great. And yeah, like we studied Usagi Yojimbo, we studied Lone Wolf and Cub, and yeah, like he watched most of Kurosawa's film collection, and yeah, he developed this style that's kind of like Japanese scroll art by way of like those two mangas.
Wow, that's awesome.
Tinfoil Hat Nick said it's very clever AF, and you can't find that creativity anywhere but Comicsgate. It is very good.
It's very true. Thank you.
That is 100% true.
And Arch City, I'm not sure if you know, I have it sharing right now, the IndieGoGo page on my
Yeah,
screen.
I've got you locked on.
Okay, cool.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, you're locked on the screen, and I got to drop the link in the chat. Link's also in the description to the IndieGoGo. I went ahead and just got us started. I got you the first backer from this stream anyway, that I know of, myself.
I also backed it early. I think it was like the first day it launched.
Well, I had backed the original campaign, and then when you relaunched, I had some stuff going on and didn't have any money, and have kind of been waiting. And then I talked to you. I was like, oh, I'll just wait till I have you on the show to give you my money.
Sure. And it's greatly appreciated from both of you guys. Thank you.
Well, you're welcome. Thank you for producing an amazing product. I told Canales the same thing. I said, I'm not backing your book until you come on the show.
I backed his book already. I've also made them a few videos for fun.
Awesome. They're going to come on with us next morning, him and Michael Derrick. So that's something to look forward to. If you guys want to join us again next week, we'll have them on.
Excellent.
Yeah.
That Abductables book looks great. I'm a backer too.
Yeah, it's his artwork in that with that grayscale is just
it's a great premise too. The premise is amazing.
Yeah. Yes.
It really is. That whole thing kind of made me jealous.
The subtext that he's got going on in that book is beautiful. It's just beautiful. But I went ahead and I did the $30 tier because I want that prequel Ashcan. I want to hear a little bit more about that too.
Yeah, you got it. So
Tinfoil Hat also backed it, by the way. Sorry.
Hail Tinfoil Hat.
Hail. So yeah, we got the ball rolling with the IndieGoGo, and Sergio's been really supportive the whole way. Like actually, he just sent out in the mail a bunch of his original art. Because some of our tiers at higher levels are like you can buy some of the pages themselves. So he just sent those in the mail from Spain. Hopefully they'll be here in a week or so. But the main issue is he's going to be incredibly busy this year with a handful of projects. So aside from like the art touch-ups and like adding some pages and doing some tweaks here and there, like he really can't do too much else with the project. So when I came up with the idea for the prequel, I knew he wouldn't be available, and the more I thought about it, I realized like if I took a different sensibility to what Samurai and Dinosaurs was, that I could just handle it on my own. So I'll be writing and drawing it. Like my day job is I'm a freelance writer, illustrator, kind of outside of comics. So I actually don't get to work on comics too often in an art capacity. So it's going to be the first time I'm doing sequentials in a while.
Wow, that's really cool.
Yeah, thank you. So with the prequel, it's going to be called The Cabin, and tonally, how I've been describing it is, it feels kind of somewhere between Rogue One and, if you remember in Inception, that whole chunk of time that DiCaprio's character and his wife spend, under, where they live basically a whole life. It feels somewhere between those two things tonally, and story-wise, it's a complete 180 from the book proper. So the cabin is a location in the book about halfway through, as the samurai are journeying, and they come across this cabin in the woods, kind of Evil Dead style, and the prequel is all about what happened prior to their arrival.
Wow, that's cool. I'm
Thank
like
you.
really intrigued by that.
Yeah, I'm right now I'm in the outlining stage, and it's really fun coming up with a bunch of stuff that like wouldn't really have fit tonally in Samurai and Dinosaurs proper. And plus two, I have a couple backers who like made me promise to like throw in um a couple things here and there, so that's been fun to work into.
Nice. Nice. So, how did you get involved in Comicsgate? Because you're not adjacent, right? You are Comicsgate.
No, we jumped in head first, and to be honest, like we took our lumps for it, but we still don't regret it. Yeah, we're 100% Comicsgate.
Right on. So yeah, so how did you what I guess what got you involved? Why did you decide to take the plunge?
Yeah, sure. Okay, so my wife and I started Chibi Comics originally back in 2005 when we first moved out to the West Coast. And our original plan, because we were very young and didn't think it through all the way, our original plan was, well, we'll just move out there and we'll start making comics and we'll become millionaires. And
Right, yeah, because it's that easy.
yeah, I mean, look, we were like 23. Yeah. So, we got out here and started making comics and quickly learned like, oh, okay, that's not how it's going to work at all. But over the ensuing 10 years or so, we still put together packages and submissions, and we go to industry events and parties, and we would rub elbows and do all the things that you're supposed to do to like work your way into the industry proper. And like the story that I've been telling is, there was an incident last year that was kind of one of the breaking points for us, where we were like, it isn't working, and it's not really what we even want. Sorry, I had to take some water.
Yeah, that's all right.
That's
Glug, glug.
We
no water here.
we hate water.
We hate water. It's disgusting.
So I used to when I was on with Malin yesterday, I was saying this, like, I used to not name names just, out of politeness and etiquette, but like at this point, like it doesn't matter, because it's not like they're looking out for us, so why are we looking out for them? We took a meeting last year with IDW, and like we took this huge long tour of their new offices here in Portland. And like there's original art all over the walls, and like the walls are like covered with like like rejected prints from like all their oversized artist archival editions, if you know those things.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so like it's this great tour, and like the place just like oozes money. And we get to the office and talk turns to like work and possibilities and stuff, and the first words out of this guy's mouth was none of us are doing this to get rich. And like I think both of us at that point had been so indoctrinated to the idea of like, well, yeah, like of course none of us are doing this to get rich. Like, why would we want to get money for doing a job? That we just kind of nodded our heads and went along with it. And it wasn't until like an hour later, we're driving home, and I was like, wait, I'm doing this to get rich. Like like I want stability. Like I love comics, but I'm not gonna like just give my life for the the pleasure of saying that I make them.
Yeah, just to live in a box.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm kind of glad that deal ended up falling through, and at that point, like, things were kind of ramping up with Jawbreakers, and what was Comicsgate was kind of starting to take shape. And like, the whole time that Richard had been building up diversity in comics, I had been reaching out and sending him emails, like, I don't know, once a month, once every couple months, because the stuff there was stuff that I disagreed with him about, but the stuff that I agreed with him about, he was like 100% correct about. And it was industry stuff, it was personality stuff, it was stuff about like how things operate here in Portland with some of the talent and like the who you have to know and what you have to do stuff. Where I was just like, I don't know how you know this stuff, but you're 100% correct. And like, basically I knew that everything that him and the hashtag was being pummeled with, like the bigot, alt-right, not all that stuff, like I knew that was just tarring and feathering, and it wasn't accurate. So yeah, like, this meeting happened and a few other events happened, and we just reached this point of like, okay, like, this movement is viable, and if anything, this movement is why we got involved with comics. We got involved with comics to make comics and to make a living at it. So we had a long talk about it and just kind of dove in head first.
Nice. Yeah. I think you're 100% correct. I too, I started writing about 10, 12 years ago, and I really wanted, to break into the comic book industry, write at DC,
Mm-hmm.
Big kid dreams.
Sure.
And the more I kind of like delved into it, is like, all these pros and all these people, that's all you ever hear is negativity. It's like, oh, you don't want to do this. It's a thankless job. We don't make any money. And I really became disheartened. It's like, well, then why the hell do I want to do this? And I kind of put it on the back burner for quite a while. And,
it should
within
be
the
like
last
you're
year,
trying to build tricycles in an Amish community. It should be an actual like profession. You spend all your time and you like ooze your creativity into it. It's not a thankless job.
no,
Right.
not at
It's
all.
like it's not like there's like when we had settlements, there's the hunters, the gatherers, and then the comics creator because it was a thankless job.
Yeah,
Like,
it's like there's this interview that like I play like once a year, A, because it's funny as hell, and B, because like it just kind of keeps me centered and focused on my goal. It's from a Harlan Ellison documentary, and he was talking about how Warner Brothers wanted him to do some big interview for free. And is there cursing allowed on the stream?
Is there? Oh yeah, go ahead.
Okay. He's like, what am I supposed to do it for free? Like, what is Warner Brothers out there on the corner with a fucking tin cup, like begging for change? Like,
yes, with their Lord of the Rings license, they're begging with
right,
their tin
right.
cup. Saul Zent's company.
So yeah, this idea that we're just kind of like obligated to like live in poverty and die when we're 70, like all the other greats that came before us. Like, I don't agree with that on any level. level when there are clearly people in the industry who are making money, and it's not necessarily because they're talented.
Yeah, and that's a sad truth of it, is there's a lot of people out there making good money, not because they're talented.
Yeah, yeah. And like, again, it was part that indoctrination and just being used to it, and but like, part of the breaking point was just when all the ideological nonsense just started filtering in to comics. That was definitely the point where we're like, we can't do this. Like, the 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 like scale of oppression and the ideological stuff, like, it was making us hate what we were working towards every day, so we knew that we had to find something different.
Yeah, and I definitely think that Comicsgate is the answer for that. This community is fantastic. It's amazing. I feel like all of us together, we breed creativity, being such kind of like a tight-knit community.
Sounds like an orgy.
What? Well, it kind of is. It's an orgy of creativity. I mean, it really is. There's so many voices and so many people in this movement. And when you start bouncing ideas off of other creative people, you yourself become more creative.
I think it would be a lot more people would join Comicsgate if it was called an orgy of creativity.
Well, we need to start branding it that way then.
Tinfoil Hat Nick's is true story. It is. Sex sells.
Sex does sell.
Sex sells. So is creativity. If you can creatively have sex, I think you're 2 for 2.
You're Hugh Hefner at that point.
Well, he's dead, so not really.
Right.
Well, you're Hugh Hefner.
He's not fucking much of anything.
Yeah, he's not doing too much right now.
Well, you're Hugh in his heyday.
There you go.
There you go. Hugh in his heyday. That's pretty catchy.
I like that. Yeah.
Yeah, man. So, like, I saw what was happening with Jawbreakers, and like, Ethan was getting ready to launch Cyberfrog, and by the time like they folded Doug in with Bigfoot Bill, I'm like, I was looking at the state of the industry and the people around us here in Portland, and I was just like, what are we doing? It's like you're at like this really dry social event where like everyone's uncomfortable to say anything, and like right next door is this amazing party,
Yeah.
And like it literally is that way. Like, you go to someone's house for like a pre or post convention party, or you go to like a comic shop for like a gallery opening or something, and just no one wants to like talk or express an idea because they're terrified of like saying the wrong thing to the wrong person and like losing out on a job opportunity because, hey, I'm only getting paid $400 to write this 32-page script, so I really need it to clear rent. It's just everyone's.
Yeah, so you're stepping on eggshells.
Yeah. Everyone's just terrified in mainstream comics, and I don't know. It's just it's not why I'm here.
Yeah. And speaking of Cyberfrog, real quick, I just looked it up, and Ethan has surpassed 100,000 on the third printing run. He is at $100,751.
Yeah.
Absolutely astounding.
Yeah. I couldn't be happier for him.
I mean, that man, he has built such an empire, with the help of YouTube and just being a good guy.
Totally.
There is your proof right there that if you make quality comics and you are a good guy and you treat your fans properly, you will be successful.
Yeah, exactly. And like, you have to work at it. You have to climb the ladder just like any other endeavor. And it's funny to see like the greedy guys and the haters come out of the woodwork, and it's like, guys, just put in the work and you'll get there.
Oh, absolutely.
I think this stuff is weeding out like who who is here for the work and who is here just for the money. You know?
Oh yeah, because there's definitely been quite a few people, even just recently, especially recently, with the success of books like this, that they just look at Comicsgate as a money pit, and they're like, "Ooh, I want some of that. Let
Right.
me in on that."
Right.
And those are the people that I do not want to back. I don't want any part of that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, look, I'm never going to shy away from the fact that I like money and want as much of it as I can, but at the same time, like, in exchange, I want to provide those people giving me money the absolute best product that I can, you know?
You mean you're not just looking for a handout?
No, I never have in my life.
Okay, then we can do business.
All right,
I'm looking
sweet.
for a hand job.
Oh, is that what? Oh, I'm sorry. I thought we were talking about something else.
Yeah, illustration, hand jobs. Tinfoil Hat Nick says CG is not an open checkbook.